Hi everyone, Brenda Gustin here. At the start of each week, I will be making an introduction video. So here we are, we're in microbiology part one, week one. So right here, I'm going to, once I'm done this video, I'm going to post it right there. And I highly recommend that you watch these lecture videos, or these introduction videos. I try to keep them relatively short, although today's might be a little bit longer than usual because I'm still trying to orient you to the course. But they shouldn't be very long, but they could contain information that's important to you. Sometimes I give you tips on what you should study this week or how you should study or if you should use the book or the videos, that kind of thing. I might also give you pointers on, make sure you really know this for the quiz, or I might even comment on how last week went. So this is a great resource for you. I change them up to make them unique for you every week. So you meaning this class in spring 2024. So you guys check this video every week so you know what's going on. So I'll put that right there. And so this is a really typical looking week. You'll have a lecture study guide. You're going to print out that study guide. You don't have to print it out. I guess some people might want to just leave it on electronically if you can study on it electronically. I like hard copies to study from. But what you're going to do is this has all the learning outcomes in it. You're going to fill in all the answers, like all the answers to the learning outcomes and vocabulary on that form. So you might want to download it into Microsoft Word and put some spaces in it where you can fill in. Alternatively, just print it out and you can write your notes on a separate piece of paper. So whatever works for you, I would definitely get these lecture study guides, go through it. The lecture study guides are a really critical document because that's what you're going to fill in. That's what you're going to study for your lecture assignments and for your exams. So this is essentially the outline to your lecture. I have some lecture videos posted here, so I'm going to go down there. And if you look on that lecture study guide, you'll see that it's divided based on the sections in your textbook. So there's section 1.1 and then 1.2, 1.3. I made a video on section 1.1 and a separate one on this. There's a funny thing on here. If you open it right there, the notes I put don't open up, but if you go over here, here we go. You can click on that. There you go. The lecture video notes open here. So this one says for lecture video section 1.1, it's an 18-minute video. I try to make them 20 minutes or less. So it's an 18-minute video. It's a link to YouTube. It covers learning outcomes and vocabulary from section 1.1 of your lecture study guide. So you can watch this and use it to fill in your lecture study guide. Here's another one. Here's a 13-minute video. And I'm going to highlight, just make a note when I say this is a recommended video. Even if you can get most of this information from the ebook, I recommend that you watch this video. It says I emphasize things in this video that are not emphasized in the textbook. So I'm going to go back into the introduction part. Okay. So here's those two lecture videos. So I would use these lecture videos to help fill out your lecture study guide. In addition, or as an alternative to using the videos to fill out your lecture study guide, you can use the ebook. And so here's the link to your lecture assignment. This is your weekly lecture assignment. And it says this link will bring you to McGraw-Hill Connect. All these external learning tools will bring you to the same place. And you're going to find the week one lecture assignment. And once you click on that assignment, you'll see the option for reading or questions. The reading is the ebook. And it's something we call a smart book. What I've been able to do is highlight pick questions that I think you should be able to answer, and that automatically highlights sections of the book that you should read. Now, that doesn't mean that all the sections of the book are highlighted. I find some things like, why didn't they highlight that? But definitely look at the highlighted parts and maybe read beyond that for what, if you're looking for something else. So the reading is in the ebook or the textbook, and most of those parts are highlighted. You can use the reading to complete your lecture study guide. So that's where I said, oh, you might be able to not watch this video and use the ebook to complete section 1 of your lecture study guide 1.1. It's up to you whether you want to use the videos, you want to use the ebook, or you want to use a combination of both. When you go to the questions section of that lecture assignment, that's where you're going to have those adaptive learning questions. And what you can do is you can start answering questions. And this is once you've filled in your lecture study guide and you've reviewed it. Now there's going to be questions that you should know because of what your lecture study guide says. And what you can do is you can go back and forth between the questions and the reading and make sure you can answer those questions. Remember, we said adaptive learning happens when the more questions you get right, the shorter the quiz will be, and the more questions you get wrong, those topics will come up again and again until you show that you can answer them. So you can go between the reading. Like if you get to a question you're not really sure, you can click on reading and go read that section again. You can also stop the assignment, like, oh, I just don't have time to finish it right now. Just stop. And what you do is you can just come back later. The Connect site will save it, what you've done already. So there is no time limit for the lecture assignment, but there is a due date, and the due date is right there. And it's also, the standard Sunday at 11:59 p.m. at the end of the week. Okay. Completion of this week's assignment is worth 6 points, and you'll find that in your grade section. Next thing you want to do is print out the lab handout, and then just follow the lab handout as you go through, and you'll notice that periodically that there are links, virtual lab links. It says do the virtual lab, virtual lab tutorial, or do the virtual lab lab safety. And what you do is you come back to this page and you click on this site. That will bring you to McGraw-Hill Connect. Look for that topic and do that virtual lab. So each one of these is worth some points. The points are written in your syllabus. Happens this week. Each one of these are worth 1 point. And so you'll do all of those in conjunction with this lab handout. So be filling in the lab handout as you're going through these virtual labs and the other activities in the lab handout. There's just a lot of introductory stuff this week. And then once you're completely filled out the lab handout, now you're going to click on the lab quiz, and the lab quiz goes through Brightspace. And you can use your completed lab handout. So the idea is, how do I make sure you fill out the lab handouts? Well, I'm going to ask you a few of the questions on the lab handout on this lab quiz. And you can read that. And it says this quiz is worth 3 points. I'm giving you an additional +2 bonus on that. I think I'm asking you some questions about personal questions so I can get to know you a little bit. So that's your bonus. So anyway, that's what you're going to do this week. It looks like a lot. None of these things are like really hard, or there's just a lot of things to learn. I mean, just a lot of routine to get used to. So get going on that. Remember, everything's due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, and Sunday at the end of week 1. And you have week 2, you can continue to work on them, but you can only get 50% of the points. So I recommend getting them done this week. Anyway, good luck. Please let me know if you're having any problems. I'm glad to talk to you. I'm glad to help out. Take care.